Thank you so much for joining us today on our virtual open day at Tutors and Exams. We recently ran actual open days in our physical exam centres. So if you couldn't make that, hopefully we're going to cover everything, except we can't physically show you around each of the exam centres. So first of all, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you had lovely Christmases.
36.
We are pleasantly shocked of how many people have signed up to join today. I think we've got over 120 people planning to be on today. So the plan is I will run through a presentation, maybe a couple of hours. Don't worry, half an hour tops. But I will run through the presentation first. And because there's so many people, if you've got any questions, please could you just type them into the chat box, and my lovely esteemed colleagues that you can see that are with me today will try and answer as many as we can as we go through, but also hopefully we'll have plenty of time at the end to have a question and answer session. I see a lot of you have got your cameras turned off. With the technology and with so many people, I was going to ask if you could turn cameras off. I said, please put any questions into the chat box. And if you hear a fire alarm, then run, because your house is probably on fire. But we're not expecting any of that to happen today, hopefully. So what I'll do now is I'll share my screen and start the presentation. Okay, hopefully everyone can see that. So first of all, for those of you who are not familiar with us, we have been around for a while, and we're actually very delighted to be celebrating our 10th year. So Tutors Exams was started in August of 2014. So it's our 10th birthday this year now in August by Chris and Jenny Spraggett, who are on the meeting with us today as well. They both had a background in education, and at one point wondered where all the private candidates go to take their exams. And what we mean by private candidates is basically anyone who is studying outside of mainstream education. So hopefully, like a lot of you guys, you're being home educated, or you're working with a learning partner or an online school, typically. But say we've just opened our 10th centre, so we're really excited about that in Birmingham. And as part of our 10 years celebrations, we'll actually be running lots of offers and events over the coming months. So please keep an eye on our website and our social media to see the latest news of what we're up to. So a bit more about us. As I say, Chris and Jenny started the business, and we've now grown to 10 exam centres. And I think last summer we actually completed something like over 25,000 physical exams. So we're an independent company. We still try to keep that family feel. We're a family-run business. We try to make ourselves as accessible as possible. Part of Chris and Jenny's vision was to basically create the opportunity and open those learning doors for candidates, students studying privately, to be able to give them access to take any exams, practicals that they need to, and that's what we strive to do. We have a team of staff across the country. We're all warm and friendly, very approachable. Our exam centres vary in size, but our exam centres are not like the big open exam halls that we all probably took exams back in the day in some kind of sports hall. We tend to have various rooms inside each of the centres of various sizes.
You've muted yourself.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So yeah, we focus very much on customer service and training to give you guys the best exam experience possible. We don't always get it right. We're only human. If you do book your exams and come to us, if you have any problems whatsoever, please come and talk to us. And one thing we will do is make sure everything gets sorted to your satisfaction. So although we're called Tutors and Exams, we actually don't do any tuition. We're not a school. We are private exam centres. However, the tutors part means that we do work with a lot of tutoring companies, learning providers, and we'll touch on that a bit later, but they can be from one-person tutors through to some of the largest online schools and learning providers in the country and indeed internationally. Some of the areas I'm going to cover off today is give you more detail about the various assessments that we offer, the accessibility we provide in terms of access arrangements. And in fact, we do view ourselves as a one-stop shop in providing everything that you need in terms of taking exams, even through to being able to help you take practical.
Sorry, you're on mute again.
Sorry about that. Thanks for letting me know. I don't know what's happening there. I don't know where you all are, but in terms of where we are across the country, these are all the exam centre locations that we have. And as they come onto the screen, these are the order in which we've opened them across the last 10 years. So Chris and Jenny started the business in Coventry, and it's grown massively over then, as you can see, across the country. If you go on our website, each of our centres does have its own web page. So there are details for each centre and photographs in particular, so you can get a feel for what each of the centres looks like and where it's located. There's lots of information there about directions and local amenities as well. And as I say, we're also able to offer science practical. CPACS is basically A-level science practical as part of your A-level science exams. And we have affiliations there, as you can see, with 5 schools across the country. We offer the widest choice in being able to provide science practicals, and we tend to run those sessions in conjunction with these schools in February half term and also the Easter holidays. And these are for all the JCQ awarding bodies, people like EdExcel, AQA. We do all the practicals associated with their exams. So not only can you book the science exam with us to take the written exams, but we can also facilitate the science practicals for you if you're doing A-level sciences and in particular want to go on and do science at A-level. Just a bit about who we are as a team. So we're based in the Midlands. Our home is still Coventry. We have a team of 5 directors, and then we have all the 10 exams centres, as I mentioned. These are split into 2 regions. We have 2 operations managers, 1 north, 1 south, who between them manage all our 10 centres. In each centre, we typically have 2 staff, and that will be a centre manager supported by the exams manager. And for our larger centres, such as Wimbledon in London, we also have a 3rd member of staff who's an exams assistant. We have our special education needs team, of which there are 4. And then we have a quality manager who ensures that all our processes are to the highest quality and that we continue to conform with any regulations and changes in regulation. NEA is non-examined assessments. So we have a team of 2 ladies there who deal with everything to do with coursework. That's what NEA is. So if you're doing any exams or any qualifications that involve coursework, we can also help you with that, and get it marked and moderated for you as part of your grade towards your final grade. We have my team, which is the communications professionals. So we're basically the sales and marketing team and primarily manage the relationships with our learning partners, but also things like our website and social media. So after today, if you've got any questions, we will try and answer them on today's session, but also we have hopefully a very good FAQ section on our website. We try and ensure that our website gives you all the information that you need. So please, if you haven't looked at our website, have a look after today's session. So as I said earlier, we're primarily exam centres, and the bulk of what we offer are actually known as general qualifications, which, as you can see there, are the typical GCSEs and A-levels, and these are primarily taken by school-age students, but also a lot of our business is actually with people aged between 18 and 24. So you don't have to be of typical school age to come and sit exams with us. There are a lot of people out there who are looking to retrain, or maybe they didn't do so well as they wanted to at school and are now having that second chance of getting perhaps the qualifications that they want to achieve their job or change a career. We also do international GCSEs and A-levels. These are typically taken by students who've been studying abroad, and then they may still come to the UK and sit these exams with us. We can facilitate those. Or more and more, with people studying with online schools, these online schools are becoming global, but they tend to offer the international curriculum. So I'll touch on those a bit more in due course. So in terms of A-levels and GCSEs, we are approved, we're regulated by the JCQ and Ofqual and approved by all the major awarding bodies you can see there in the UK. CEA or CEA is the particular awarding body in Northern Ireland. So our Belfast centre tends to offer the CEA qualifications and isn't allowed to offer all the English qualifications. So we offer as many as we can, but we have some restrictions in our Belfast centre. All our other centres offer the same range of subjects across all those boards, and we try to offer as many as are available. With regard to international A-levels and international GCSEs, the two key bodies there really are Cambridge and Pearson, and so we are approved to offer those in the UK as well. And in fact, I believe we're the only UK centres who have approval to offer Pearson international A-levels. What we're really proud of and what we try to achieve is that we offer the widest ranges of subjects available across all those awarding bodies, as I said. So, for example, we offer something like 25 languages. I took on the science practical exams sessions that we run. We also run geography and environmental science field trips, if you fancy a trip out into Lincolnshire. IT computer science is becoming more and more popular. Two new ones that have taken off and become very popular that we were asked for quite a while is food and nutrition and art and design. And so we tend to offer a lot of subjects which aren't necessarily available as part of the general curriculum, excuse me, across schools anymore. And in fact, We were at a trade show a few months ago, and someone who was in home education came and was talking to us and said, well, yeah, of course, you see, the problem is there are no private exam centres out there where you can do art and design. Well, you can with us. So hopefully that just gives you a feel for not only do we offer the core subjects, such as your maths, English and science, but we offer so much more and as wide a variety as we can possibly offer.
Okay.
Outside of general qualifications, we are exam centres, so we do offer access to other qualifications, such as accountancy exams. We're approved by AAT. For people that are distance learning at university, we can invigilate university exams. We're also approved for Pearson Edexcel functional skills exams, mainly maths and English. And we also can run university admissions tests, such as recently there were the Oxford admission tests. So we can do so much more than just generally GCSEs and A-levels. Quite a key topic for a lot of you may be access arrangements. And what we mean by access arrangements is this is a term used by the awarding bodies for any students who may have additional needs, particularly due to any mental health or medical requirements that they have. As I showed earlier, we have a team of 4 in our SEN team who manage all these arrangements. We have 3 lovely ladies and Colin. And it's very important that when you book your exams with us, you let us know straight away if you have any potential requirements for access arrangements. You can see there the kind of access arrangements that we typically manage and cater for. The most common one is normally things like extra time, but there are other things such as use of a word processor or laptop, reader, scribe. It's very important, though, that when you book with us, our access arrangements team will get in touch with you to guide you through the process and make sure we've got everything we need to get approval from the awarding body to grant you any of those things that you may require. It's important to note that a GP letter, I'm afraid, isn't sufficient, but the AA team will answer any questions today when I finish, and you can contact them directly afterwards if you've got any specific personal questions. Just also, normal way of working has to be a medical or a need. Sometimes we get inquiries because a lot of students these days are always on laptops. They say, well, my normal way of working is using a laptop, so can I use a laptop in the exam? And I'm afraid, unless it's for a specific need, medical or otherwise, then no. You have to revert to good old pen and paper. Excuse me. What's very important is the management of access arrangements is the deadline dates. So here are the deadline dates for summer 2024, of which one is already passed. So, for example, if you are taking Cambridge exams and you required some kind of modified paper, then that deadline has already passed. But you can see there that for all the other exam boards, our deadlines for summer are the 15th of January. Cambridge is 24th of January, and then for broader summer exams is the 8th of February. And please note that when we talk about deadline dates, that isn't just applying to have access arrangements with your exams. You need to have applied before that, because then the team need to contact you and we need to gather all the evidence, and then the team can potentially apply for approval for any access arrangements in time for the exams to take place. So please bear these deadline dates in mind. I'm afraid they're very black and white. We get people coming after the deadline dates, and I'm sorry, if you've missed the deadline, we can't help you. More generally, then, we have the deadlines for booking your exams. And these are the deadlines for the different exam seasons that we run. Obviously, the key one now is looking at May, June summer exams this year. And the note to bear in mind is that the first deadline to apply for all qualifications is the 7th of February. That doesn't mean that we can't accept bookings for exams after that date. But what that does mean is that our fees tend to go up, and late fees and high late fees may apply. This is because the awarding bodies charge us significantly more as we get closer to the exams. So key deadline for you, if you haven't booked your exams yet, is please book ASAP. And the first deadline to get them at our standard fees is the 7th of February. So what is the booking process? First of all, if you've got any questions, please contact us before you go ahead and make your application to sit your exams with us. We've developed a new application process. So what you can do is go on our website, and at the top of the homepage on the right-hand side, you'll see a tab that says Book Now, and that will take you through to our application or booking form. You will need to have a couple of elements prepared before you complete it. I mean, first of all, you need to know, of course, which exams you want to enter for, the subjects and the codes. But we also need things like a passport style photo ID. But there is a guide at the start of the application process on how to complete the form. And we have tried to automate it as much as possible to make it as easy as possible for you to complete. But before you get to that stage, if you've got any issues at all, please don't hesitate to contact us. And then you go onto the application form. That's where you can also book your exams. If you need any access arrangements like I discussed, that's where you can book it all there. And then you submit it. Excuse me. Once we receive your application, that will generate an invoice, and we will send the invoice out to you. And there's a couple of options to make payments. Most people tend to pay by credit card or by bank transfer. With bank transfer, we would ask that you include the invoice number that you've been sent as reference, because that makes it easier for us to tally it up and put the application with the payment. Also, from the 1st of this month, if you're making payments by credit cards, we've actually just switched to a system called Stripe. And as part of that, they're associated with a couple of payment solutions such as Klarna. So for the first time, we can actually offer payment installments through Klarna. Once we've received your payment, then we process your exam entries. And ultimately, that's why we have our deadlines, because we need to get literally thousands of exam entries processed and booked with the awarding bodies. Once your entry has been processed, you will receive confirmation of that. And then the way we keep in contact with you is we have something called TECH, T-E-C-H, which is our Tutors and Exams Candidate Hub. And you will receive a welcome email and a login. And from that login, you'll be able to access all the information you need about taking your forthcoming exams. Now, if you book your exams now well in advance, you won't get that information straight away. You'll get the welcome message and you'll get your login. But then closer to the exams, normally I think 6 weeks to 8 weeks before, you'll get things like your timetable of exams. You'll get things like your joining instructions, where you need to be and when, what you can bring with you, what you can't bring with you, all that information, any updates, we communicate to you via the TECH, via the hub. So please make sure you can log in and keep checking it for latest news, any updates, and any problems. Again, let us know and we'll sort them out for you. Then there's a small matter of taking the exams. So you'll come to the centres. If you haven't been to one of our centres, you're welcome to arrange a centre visit to acclimatise yourself with where the centre is. One of the stressful things can be getting there on the first exam, not being able to find it, where do I park, all those kind of things. So again, we're here to support you. Any questions, challenges, issues around taking the exams, please let us know. And then, of course, we will look after you to the best of our ability on the day of the exams to hopefully give you, as much as we can, the best possible exam experience. And then it's a case of waiting for your results, which are typically 12 weeks after the exams. So exam results for GCSEs and A-levels, as I'm sure you're familiar, tend to come out in August. And that's the process. And then if you have any issues with your results, if you're not happy with them in terms of your gradings and you think you should have got a better mark, or you've got any queries, we can also help you with that whole process afterwards. You may or may not be aware that we can also we also run mock exams. So, for example, our next mock exams prior to summer exams will be in the first 2 weeks of March, and we can offer you the opportunity to come and sit a mock exam at our centres, and you can choose to have them marked so that you get a feel for where you are in terms of achieving your grades, or you can just come and do a mock and it be unmarked. We've found, particularly since the pandemic, that there's a lot of anxiety out there, and a lot of students are nervous about taking exams. They may not be used to going out to a physical building. You may do mocks or past papers at home, but to be honest, it's not the same as coming and sitting and doing the real thing and having a trial run in one of our centres. As I said earlier, you get to come out, you get to find where the venue is, you get to get familiar with the building, you get familiar with the staff, so that you can practice taking an exam in centre with our staff, with invigilators, and then hopefully that will boost your confidence and reduce your anxiety for when you take the real thing. As I mentioned earlier, some of the other new services we're offering is we have launched an online bookshop in partnership with a company, and the books are branded Clear Revise. I have to say, these are fabulous books, nice and glossy revision guides. At the moment, the list of books and subjects is primarily AQA GCSEs, but we are adding to them all the time whenever the publishers do. And so we have got a few, I think a few EdExcel GCSEs now as well. And the really cool thing about these books is they've got augmented reality in them. So, for example, if you're studying biology, there's links in the book, and you can get a free link on your mobile phone. And then as part of the book, if you're studying, say, something like the heart, you can click on the link, and then you'll have an image of a real 3D image of a heart beating on your phone. And a lot of the books have that technology in them, and yeah, they're really cool and pretty good value. So please check out our bookshop if you are looking to revise your GCSEs. Something else we launched last year were revision webinars. So throughout the course of last year, we, with some tutors running the webinars, we ran revision webinars for subjects like languages, Spanish and French. The French tutor in particular is an examiner. So we ran sessions on how to boost your marks in a speaking test. And she was very helpful in guiding students who are doing languages on how best to prepare, how to get the best marks in a speaking test. We also did GCSE maths and English sessions as well, where we broke them down into some key topics, particularly maths, how to use a scientific calculator. So these are all designed to take sections of topics and give advice to students on how they can really boost and maximize their marks during these exams. So we're looking to expand these subjects in time for summer exams next year. So again, check our website, check our social media, because we'll publish when these webinars are taking place. They'll typically be towards the end of March and into early April, say just ahead of exams, to give that additional support for revision. So finally, a lot of you may be studying through a learning partner online school. This is just a selection of all the different learning partners that we work with, from people like Oxbridge, Cloudlearn, King's Interhigh, right through to sort of independent tutors. So if you are working through one of these, you should have a learning partner discount code, so that when you book your exams, you can get the code from them. And then when you book your exams with us, you will get the discount that this learning partner has got with Tutors Exams. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that's been really useful and answered a lot of the questions you may have. I say please check out our website, which is there, tutorsandexams.uk. We have a very good FAQ section. We're also on social media, particularly Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So we're posting all the time across all those platforms. So that's another great way of, please follow us and keep up to date with the latest news. And we always like it when people like or share or indeed comment on any of our posts. So what I'll do now is I will stop sharing, and if anyone has been putting any questions in the chat, I've got colleagues with me today from our access arrangement team, from our NEA team, and also from the centres. So please put any questions you may have now in the chat box, and we will go through as many as time allows. But thank you very much.
Hi, Brett. It's Chris here. I just want to jump in. Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. And what I would like to add to that, and I've noticed these are the kind of questions that don't come up from the crowd whilst we're in the centre itself, but a lot of things that get asked whilst we're in the centres is, where do I leave my bag and coat? Where do I leave my mobile phone? Is there a place where I can put them? Are there clocks available? And how do I know where to sit? Which is quite straightforward. So when the guys receive joining instructions on the Tutors and Exams Candidate Hub, we have all the joining instructions in there, which give the candidates, the parents, places where they can set down their kids. That means not sit them in the car park or anything, but where we can drop them off, local car parks, hotels that they can stop at. But then once they get to the front door, we take over the whole process from the parents, the carers, the chaperones, and we make sure that the candidates are checked in. We get them to their tables and chairs that they're sitting at, their specific one. They don't need to know where they're going. And whilst we're taking them to that place, we can show them where to drop their coats and bags off, where the mobile phones need to be, which are all switched off, hopefully. No watches, no smart watches, which includes Rolexes and things like that, because they're really smart. So all that kind of stuff we take care of for you. And then in the exam room, there's lots of clocks in there. There's digital and analog clocks. And when the exams start, the candidates are asked whether they've got the correct papers. But if incorrect papers are handed out, which happens, or the candidate is entered for the wrong exam, which is inevitable, it does happen. We get entries for foundation instead of higher instead of foundation. There is a process where we can fix that. But it's really important, it's really important that the candidate and the parents know exactly what they're entering for, and that's what we're here to guide you through. And that's what the whole thing about being accessible is all about. Please, ask questions on this forum here, send in emails to us, and just fire away any questions you've got, even if it's about entries or entry codes, access arrangements. That's exactly what we're here for. And sorry, Jenny's just sent a message to me here to remind you as well. So when the candidates sit at their desk as well, there's a candidate card, so it has their photo on, and the invigilators can identify who that person is, and they can see in front of them, the candidate, your child, whoever, can see they've got their name on there, they've got the paper they're sitting, they can check it before they even receive the paper, and they've got all their information, including candidate numbers, the date, the time, all that kind of stuff. So everything really is taken care of. Okay, I hope that answered a few of those questions as well. We do get lots of those questions. The other questions we get asked as well is, are parents allowed in? No, unless there's an absolute special requirement. Your child is absolutely can't live without you until they get to their exam desk, but that goes through access arrangements. You need to notify them, purely because when on exam day we want to get rid of a lot of noise and a lot of heat, because during the summer the exam centres get really hot, and we want to be able to make sure that the candidates can hear the instructions that we're giving them when we want to call them into exam rooms. So we make sure that there's no parents in the building, no chaperones. We do take care of them, I promise you. We've got safeguarding policies and all the rest of it. And we will ensure that they're taken care of and get to their seat on time and properly. Now, have I missed any questions there? Do you home educate children generally take GCSEs or IGCSEs? There's a good one. That choice is really yours. And this is the thing, we give you too much choice, I'm afraid. However, the reason why home educated historically took IGCSEs was because the GCSEs contain controlled assessment, which was another element of coursework. And those controlled assessments could last anywhere between half an hour and 4 days. So the costs became quite prohibitive. However, now GCSEs, since 2015-ish, 2012, they came in 2015 with the first sittings. GCSEs now have very, very limited coursework. There's only geography, I think Jen will nod or shake her head at me in a minute, that has any element of coursework left in it, whereby you'll have to go out and do a field trip. Okay, so that's when you switch to IGCSEs. So really, the choice is yours. The thing with GCSE English, you can do the speaking test, which we will do for you. It's an endorsement. You don't get graded for it, but it is an endorsement and it is required. And IGCSE, you don't have to do the speaking test. We can do it all anyway. So 99.9% of all GCSEs and IGCSEs we can offer, and 88.3% of statistics are made up on the spot, just in case. I don't know if Sally was answered. Can an autistic child take a soft sensory calmer? Again, depends what it is. However, it goes to the AA team. Make sure it's on your application form, and they'll go through that with you. Should be a very simple yes or no, very quick. I think Catherine will give me a nod or a shake on that one. Yeah, all agreed. Very good. Hello, yes, will there be just candidate card on each test with that information? Yes. I emailed access arrangements in December. Isabel, if you can speak, I emailed access arrangements. Isabel, can you provide us your surname at all? Hopefully yes, and then Catherine will look on the chat and she will chase that up for you. The card on the desk during mocks, one for Helen. Rains.
Yep, sorry, I was just waking my mouse back up. Candidate cards on the desk, was that one, Chris? Sorry.
During mocks, do we provide them
during mocks? We do the exact same process as we would in an actual exam to give you that same feel that you would get on an actual exam day. So you would be provided with a candidate card on the desk with what you sit in. There'll still be seating plans on the doors that would be on the doors on the main exam days as well. Invigilators would treat you exactly the same as they would on an actual exam day. So you're getting that same feel in the same environment as you would on an actual exam day.
Perfect. Very concise answer. Thank you very much. Toilet breaks. Whoa, contentious subject, toilet breaks. If it's for a medical reason, absolutely. We're never going to stop anyone going to the toilet for medical reasons. Toilet breaks typically, though, are not allowed during exams because whilst it's great for the person that needs a wee, they're going to be disrupting probably another 30 candidates in the exam room, and that's what we want to try and prevent, is disrupting everybody else. Hopefully our candidates can hold themselves, unless it is a medical, we understand medical issues, can hold themselves for the exam duration. That would be fantastic, and then we're not upsetting and disturbing other candidates. But yes, if there is an access arrangement for toilet breaks, we make sure that they are sat in a particular place where they can access the door quickly. We can get them in and out quickly and with the least amount of disruption for anybody else. So yes, let us know as well on access arrangements if there is an issue where they need to go for toilet breaks. Isabel, don't worry about that. Providing an email address on there, we'll dig that out. Isabel Towers, we'll get that. Yeah. And have I missed any questions? Additional paper. We get asked a lot of questions. Oh, let me answer that one about November. That'll be a good one. We get asked a lot of questions about additional paper as well. So additional paper is provided. It's exam board stationery. If a candidate has large writing, for example, don't worry, there'll be plenty of additional stationery in the exam rooms that will be provided for them. They complete all their details again on it, goes inside, and they're all bound together and then sent to the exam boards, which are then processed there. Okay, are all GCSEs available in November? No. However, you are in a beautiful position as out of mainstream education. So the November series, now we're not, please bear in mind as well that November series isn't just the November series. That is Cambridge terminology for our autumn, but they don't call it autumn because we've got northern and southern hemisphere, blah, 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 blah. Let me know if I'm waffling. So the October-November series is available for Cambridge and Pearson, and they offer about 90%, maybe even more, of their IGCSEs. So GCSEs in November are only English and Maths for post-16 learners. Okay, so there's only GCSE English and Maths for post-16 learners in November. Please, please, please make sure you're aware of that. And the October-November thing. So if you book November exams, we don't put November on our website, but Cambridge do call it a November series. It's October and November. So they start right at the beginning of October. You can do anything then, and you can mix and match IGCSEs with GCSEs. The only difference between an IGCSE and a GCSE, without going into the whole content, is IGCSEs are regulated by their exam board. So Pearson and Cambridge regulate themselves, if you like. And GCSEs are regulated by Ofqual, which fall under the Department for Education. Okay, so we're bound by a lot more rules with GCSEs, and we have to follow those really tightly. The rules are very tight with all qualifications. It's just that they're more available and more accessible during other periods. International A levels for Pearson, there's some units and qualifications available in January also. Okay, take a breath. If a GP letter isn't enough evidence for access range of the daughter's home education, what evidence do we need and how do we get it? Wonderful questions. Oh, let me come down to you. Hello, Lindsay West, in a moment as well. A GP letter, you would need a consultant's letter, or we can build a portfolio of evidence with you, and it may include evidence which you already have. There is a fantastic link on the JCQ that Tutors and Exams helped put together. Dun, dun, dun. Only took us 3 years to get them to do it. It is, where's the private candidate? Here we go. So if I copy this link, this document is excellent and was helped put together by our team, which is fantabby-dozy. Have a look at that, and if you've still got more questions, come back to aa@tutorsandexams.uk. Please remember, don't put .co.uk in, it won't hit them, it is just .uk. lindsay.west.co.uk. Are GCSEs worth less than GCSEs? Not at all. They carry the same currency. They are absolutely at the same level. And if you don't believe me, I'll even ping you another link. UCAS International GCSE. International. Here's one just for Pearson. They do another one for Cambridge as well, but Pearson was the first one that came up on Google. They are absolutely the same currency, 100%. There you go, Pearson EdXL on UCAS. Hi, if a child struggles with writing, would a letter from an OT or EdPsych? Almost definitely, Mairead, and it will be part. It will form part of the information pack that access arrangements need. Yeah, they will let you know as soon as you meet the threshold, and it doesn't necessarily. It may that ed psychologist report may be all we need. Yeah, however, we may need just a little bit more, but the team will work with you. We don't charge for it, so we're not making any money on it. They just want to make sure they have all the evidence they need to get through, because all of our approvals then go to JCQ or Cambridge, and they approve them there. It's not our decision. Okay. Or exam clashes, that's always a good one. So exam clashes, we resolve all clashes. So a clash is when two exams are timetabled at the same time on the same day. These questions are coming in thick and fast. At the same session at the same time on the same day. We resolve those clashes for you. There's one of two things can happen. So if there's a clash where the exams fall less than 3 hours in a session, we will put them back to back. So they'll do 3 hours of exams with a 10-minute gap in between them, or a reasonable amount of time if there's access arrangements, to ensure that they catch the breath, they're ready to go in for the next exam. However, we can split them as well, and we decide whether we do that or not, or if you decide you can't do one exam or another one, one straight after another, and we will schedule them one for the morning, one for the afternoon. If they're both scheduled for the afternoon, we'll put one in the morning. If they're both scheduled for the morning, we'll put one in the afternoon. So what you need to, we will resolve that clash for you though and let you know what's going on. If there's supervision required during a lunch break, there is a £25 fee, which we let you know about. And we send you an invoice. That's because you can't supervise them. We need to do it within centre, and we need to pay somebody some overtime. I hope that answers that question. Water bottles are allowed. No. Yeah, so water bottles, all that kind of thing. Pencil cases as well should be clear pencil cases. Don't bring in any additional material that you don't need. We must have caught about 15 candidates with mobile phones in the summer this year, last year, whichever year. Last year, 100% of them had their grade removed for that paper. Okay, there is absolutely no doubt about it, whether the phone is switched on, switched off, used, not used, and that isn't our decision. We only report the facts to the awarding bodies. The awarding bodies make a decision about malpractice. It's their decision, which you can appeal against. However, I've never known one upheld. Okay, that goes the same with water bottles. They have to be clear, no labels on, absolutely, because people write on the labels underneath, and it's not allowed, basically. And we don't like writing on people's legs as well, especially when they've got ripped jeans, because they can check on their legs. Not giving you any ideas there, but the invigilators are up and down and they are checking. Okie dokie. Do you have a limit on Word? Yes, we do. Word processors, we do have a limit. They do run out. Just get your booking in as quick as possible. Normally, do you need to enter for exams this year, Sally? Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or yes, no.
Something I forgot to mention, Chris, is whilst we try and accommodate any candidates with any kind of special needs, we have practical restrictions on things like own rooms and laptops. So it's a good question, because we have very few small rooms for classed as own rooms, and we only have a limited number. Whilst we have a lot of laptops, they do get booked up. So as Chris has just said, if you do need access arrangements, please speak to us urgently.
just yeah, let us know as soon as you can. If you're booking for 2025 or 2026, honestly, make your inquiries now. Yeah, you don't have to pay now. We'll sort all that out, but certainly make your inquiries, put your application in, and we can just let us know that you haven't got the funds to pay now or whatever it is, and we can sort that out. Yeah. They're typically the main questions we get asked. A dress code is one that pops up as well quite frequently. So remember, and in exam rooms, we must be the proud owners of about 400 million boxes of tissues. That's because during October, November is coming up to the winter and lots of people have colds. And during the summer, everybody has hay fever. So we do provide tissues as well. Don't worry about bringing in packs of tissues, but also clothing as well. Whilst the rooms are typically airy and all the rest of it, they can get cold because some people don't like the heating on. They can be hot because it's the summer and we don't always have the air conditioning on because it causes some people noise irritations, all that kind of thing. There's all sorts of reasons. So the best way to say is wear what's appropriate for the weather outside and do it in layers. So if you need to take a layer off, a jumper, a jacket, whatever, that's fine. What you don't want to be doing is, and we've had a young lady sitting in a chiffon shirt in the middle of November and it was belting it down with snow outside and she was confused as to why it was so cold everywhere, and she literally turned up in a blouse, no jacket, no nothing. Yeah, so just be warned, the rooms can be cold, yeah, not freezing cold, but they can be a bit chilly just purely because of the what's going on with other candidates and the atmosphere outside as well. Yeah. Ear defenders and earplugs, yep, absolutely. They need to go through the AA team. You need to let them know. We're not all alcoholics. That is access arrangements, obviously. And something not to get confused about as well with with access arrangements, it's not always about being able to access the building. This is where people get confused with access arrangements. Okay, it's also about accessing the qualifications. So that's why it's called access arrangements. So even if you've got mobility issue, even if it's not mobility issues, they do fall under access arrangements. Okay, one other thing, I might run out of things I'll remember in a minute. One other thing to think about as well, if you're sick or running late, you must let us know as soon as possible. And please remember, during exams, that is, really, really busy for us. Everybody's running around trying to get candidates seated. The phones aren't always answered, but there is a voice recording system. Leave your message. Let us know which centre it's for. Let us know the name, the candidate number if you can. If you can remember it, don't worry too much. But certainly the name of the candidate and what the issue is, whether they're sick, whether they're running late, whatever. Okay. And we will get back to you. If you're running very late, we will give you further instructions. I won't tell you what those instructions are because we don't want people to start knowing what it is that we tell them during exams and sharing that with the wider world. There is a process for us that we follow to ensure that you can get into the exams. And if you are late and we let you in, because it is still at our discretion. So if you're very late, so if you turn up 2 hours for a morning exam, it's very unlikely we're going to let you in. Okay. And it is purely at our discretion. Just let us know as soon as possible. Yeah. Whether you're ill, what the issue is, and we will let you know what to do next. If it's a cold, we suggest you just get through the exam. If it's obviously, you're running to the toilet or whatever, we don't want anybody else to get that. You need to let us know and we can apply to the exam boards for all sorts of stuff. And in that way, we can determine whether you get a grade or not. But it depends on the kind of evidence and whether you can prove whether that issue has occurred. Okay. Candidate numbers are like I say, will come on your tech portal. Not allowed to say portal on the tech, and that will also be on the seat on the day as well. So don't worry about that. You should bring with you all the equipment that you need for an exam. So if you're doing a maths exam, you're going to need a calculator, unless it. Oh, there's another question I've just thought of as well. Calculators. You should bring with you all the equipment you need: geometry set, pens, pencils, all that kind of thing. Nothing more, nothing less. Will we receive an exam entry card with ID details? Yes, you will. That will be in your tech. What was the thing I just thought of and then forgot about? Calculators. So something to confuse you about with awarding body papers. So an exam paper will tell you whether you can or you can't use a calculator. Okay, it will say calculators allowed, calculators not allowed. However, there are some papers that say nothing at all. So if it says calculator allowed, you're allowed. If it says calculator not allowed, you're not allowed. If it says nothing, you're allowed. Strange but true. There we go. And calculators shouldn't be programmable. And they shouldn't have a memory when they're sat down, or a memory where you can save formulas and all the rest of it. When they sit down, then you need to clear the memory when they're sat down. Yeah. Any other questions before somebody tells me I need to shut my mouth? Mainly Jenny. Hopefully I haven't bombarded you with too much information. All of the awarding bodies that we do all of the English awarding bodies, as we've said, and we do CEA in Northern Ireland. You can't do CEA qualifications in England. However, you can do some AQA, EdXL, OCR and Educast qualifications in Northern Ireland. Helen.
Just wanted to make everybody aware that I have popped a link to the website in the chat. So if you do think of any questions after this has ended, then please feel free to visit the website. There is a full section on there for FAQs where you can find most of the answers. If you are struggling, contact any of the centres that you're looking to enter with as well, and they will happily answer any questions for you.
Also, that last message that's just come in. So all of the Lindsay West, all of the qualifications we offer are in our fees list, which I've just posted as well. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Ben. Which isn't exhaustive, sorry. If there's something on there that we're not offering that you want to do, let us know and we'll either be able to help you find a tutor, because sometimes we'll need a tutor to work with us to do it, such as drama or dance. Or if you're part of a group already, we'll be more than happy to speak to them and get the qualification up and running for you. Like we said, we've done arts, we're doing food and nutrition. We do all sorts of stuff. Nothing is off limits. Catherine, sounds like something profound from Access Arrangements coming.
Thank you very much, Chris. Yeah, just to reiterate what Helen said about our fantastic website for any information on the centres. We also have a section for access arrangements where we have all the information that any questions that have been raised today can cover. We have an FAQ section. We also have links to videos that we've done with questions about, I've seen smaller rooms, home rooms, or any access arrangements questions that you have can be covered on our website. If there's anything individual that you want to speak to that is specific to yourselves, then we encourage you to email in to our AA inbox and we'll arrange a telephone consultation with you so that we can talk about your access arrangements for future exam series.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
Excellent. Guys, this is a virtual open day, which I appreciate is quite difficult to do. I've taken quite a few notes on things that we want to improve about our open day, things, you know, whether we can get pictures on our presentation of centres, how it looks internally, things like that, which I've realised we probably should have done before. That's down on me. Thank you. Sorry. If you've got any other suggestions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Anything you want to see, anything we can improve on, anything we can make better for you, please put them on there. There's nothing daft, I can assure you. I've done all the daft things in this company. Or as Ben's just popped back, there's inquiries at Tutors and Exams, or probably better than that, Ben, actually is feedback. Also, feedback at Tutors and Exams might be a better place for us. And are the summer 2024 exams in June? Summer 24 exams, depending on which exam board, start in April, bizarrely. So the Cambridge start April, and May tends to see the start of the Pearson IGCSEs and GCSEs. And then the third week of May, A levels start kicking, or AS levels start kicking in. And then we have the half term, but Cambridge still run exams during the half term. And then we tend to have a drop in GCSEs and IGCSEs in June, and a rise in A levels. But they all do still run from April to July. Recording of the event, we're going to look at that, and hopefully we'll get that posted on our YouTube channel. If not, we'll create another version of this, and we'll make a recording and get it hopefully out before February. When do you find out dates for language speaking exams? They will come out as soon as you've booked. As soon as you've booked, you get a tech notice, and if you've booked speaking tests, in fact, I'm going to throw this open to Claire. She deals with the NEA, just to make sure I get it right. We may have changed the process recently. Speaking tests.
Yep.
When do they notify the date?
So as soon as they've made it, as soon as you've made your application, the centre will then contact you. They'll send you a notice through your tech, and it will give you an idea of when your speaking assessment is going to take place. So if you have a problem with the dates that you're offered, I would advise you to go back to your entering exam centre. There are windows for each awarding organisation which the speaking assessments have to fit it within. So there are limitations. There are also limitations about the availability of the speaking assessors we use. But I would always say the first port of call for more specific information is your entering exam centre. Yeah,
and they all start quite bizarrely with the name of the city or town that they're in, and then at tutorsexams.uk. So we've got Coventry at, Birmingham at, St Neots at, Romford at, etc., etc., etc. Nothing else coming in. I think I've exhausted myself and my team. I think their ears might now be hurting, but absolutely assure you, if your child is suffering with anxiety, that's one of the biggest things we get. Try standing up in front of 50 odd people, whatever it is, and give a speech. It's very, very anxiety pushing. And what we do is the guys in centre are fabulous. Yeah, they will put your learner or your child, whoever it is, at ease. They will guide them through getting into the exam room, sitting down, and almost guarantee by the second or third exam they're going to be coming out smiling. I promise you. Yeah, just leave us to do our thing with exams, and we'll look after them for you. All right. Happy days. And on that note, thank you very much, everybody. I hope we haven't spoilt your tea time. We're off to go and cook some whatever we're having, and hopefully we'll see some of you in our centres soon. Thank you very much. Thank you, Brett. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Nat, Helen, Ben, Jenny, for answering all the questions. And thank you all for attending as well. Take care. Thank you very much.